I can tell you that when they first introduced StructureScan at the ICAST show, they brought it down, put it on a pontoon boat, and we had it out at Bay Lake, which was a lake at Disney World. And so I got to go out on the boat before anybody else was out there, and we just got to play for a whole day. And what was really cool was I had the fisheries biologist from the lake with me. His name's Jeff Holland. So we got in the boat, everybody had gone, and we took the boat and just ran it for 6 hours. And so he knew everything that was down there. He's been diving the lake, so he knows every little bit of structure, everything's down there. We saw stuff unbelievable. What was really impressive to me, which I don't think most of the technicians even know that it does this, but there were some areas out there that had shrimp grass, which is this little stuff called nitella, and it only grows up 3, 4, 5, 6 inches off the bottom. And when we were idling over it, you could look on the StructureScan and you could see that it wasn't this crisp bottom. And you're like, that's interesting. And as soon as he broke free from that area, it was crystal clear again on the bottom. And so we learned real quick that you can see this little itty bitty bit of grass that's on the bottom that's just a fluff, a fuzz, and that much detail is amazing because those bass love that. It holds shrimp, it holds all these little crustaceans for the bass. They love that little nitella. So when you find that, it's really important. And HDS shows that to you. The StructureScan shows you that grass on the bottom that nobody had ever been able to tell before. You can't see it on a regular sonar. So next thing I do, I go to Toledo Bend with this thing. And I'm idling and I'm looking at this creek channel, and it was phenomenal because you can see the creek channel and you see where a little finger breaks off and goes back here, and all of a sudden I see these slats on the bottom. I'm like, what the heck? So I spin around, I go by it again, and it's an old walkway. And I said, that's perfect sense. This is where he would come down. There's a big high spot, a 30-foot drop off down into this creek channel where the house spot would sit up on the top and they'd go down to the creek to fish or have their little boats or do whatever. And you could just see the dock right there and never been moved when they flooded the lake. And then one of the greatest ones was we found this foundation at Lake Falcon. And we're filming an episode of One More Cast. And so we find this foundation and we're idling by it. Well, all of a sudden we come out from the foundation on this drop off that drops off from like maybe 15, 20 feet down to 60 or 80 feet. And here's this rock wall and it's slightly curved. And we're going by this, and I'm with a friend of mine from Lawrence, Lucas, and Luke and I are looking at this thing, and it's a vista. It's where the guy had his home site over here, where he'd go out there, prop up, get himself a beer, and look out over this big expanse of the river right there, the Rio Grande River. And we're going, this is so awesome that you can see what's under the water. I mean, it's like almost diving down there, being in there, and it just takes you back in history. This is what used to be right here. It's phenomenal technology. I mean, what you see and what you can find, and you can do it so quickly. Instead of having to make 3 or 4 or 5 passes or 10 passes, idling back and forth, you can make one pass, cover a huge area, pick out all your little structure, all your little details, and that's what's real key, are the details. Finding a rock here or a stump there, a little piece of brush there, that's where the fish hold. I mean, you can have this beautiful rocky point, but wherever there's a stump or a rock or something special, a little high spot, that's where they're gonna be, and you see it all in one pass. So quick, finding your stuff, locating it, then you just track back, you do a little track back feature, drop a waypoint on it, and you're ready to catch them. The HDS unit took me a little bit to get used to because there were a few changes that from what our old units were like, our LMS units. But the StructureScan, simple. I mean, the StructureScan, you don't do anything. I mean, the best you do is maybe change your range every now and then, or adjust, how bright the contrast is. Other than that, that's it. I mean, it is the simplest unit in the world to use. And then, the best thing I would say is go to a place that like idle under a bridge, and you look at the pilings, and then you can look up underneath and you see what's underneath there. And so once you go someplace that then you realize how it's showing up. But it's simple. It's about the simplest electronics I've ever used in my life. I was so excited to get the StructureScan, and we took it down to Mexico, which was really cool. We go to this lake called Sugar Lake, and out in the middle are these neat structures. I mean, it's just a gorgeous lake. It's got trees and bushes and everything that a flipper or a structure fisherman, visible structure fisherman wants to fish, because all you're going to do is go to the bank and throw to the trees, and you catch them that way, but you don't catch the big ones. So we go out in the middle and we idle around, and there are just these massive rock piles that are just loaded, and it was really incredible. And then I think about, we caught some great fish there, but I think about, man, I can't wait to take this back, put it in saltwater on my saltwater boat, and go catch grouper. I mean, this technology revolutionizes, your fishing. It really does, because you find structure so easy. You find it, just with one pass. You locate things that you never knew were there. I mean, where you used to fish right here, and you catch them, and every now and then you don't catch them. Well, where did they move to? Well, you're going to find that piece of structure, with StructureScan, because it's going to show it. Over here, 100 feet, over there, 100 feet. Incredible. I mean, absolutely the best unit I have ever seen. StructureScan, you got to get one of these.